You can consume endless books, watch countless videos, and repeat affirmations of self-love 1,000 times. But if you don't grasp one essential truth, the love you are searching for will always feel just beyond your reach. Today, I'm not here to talk about theories or abstract concepts. I'm here to hand you a key, a truth that few ever speak about, but that Carl Jung uncovered, and that has the power to completely transform your relationship with yourself and with others. If you're here listening, it's because something deep inside you already senses that there's more to life and love than you've been told. This goes far beyond simply accepting your shadow or balancing your energies. It's about taking those ideas and grounding them into real, transformative action. By the end of this journey, you won't just have a better intellectual understanding of why self-love often feels so difficult. You'll walk away with a practical strategy that can change how you relate to yourself, and as a natural result, how you connect with others. This isn't about accumulating knowledge. It's about applying it. It's about embodiment. The first thing you must understand is that your relationships are not coincidences. The people you feel drawn to or repelled by mirror unresolved aspects of your own psyche. Think about the last person who provoked a strong emotional reaction in you, whether it was admiration, love, frustration, or resentment. That person wasn't just another passerby. They were a reflection, an invitation to see something hidden within yourself. Maybe you're drawn to people who make you feel small or insecure. Maybe you're constantly irritated by individuals who exhibit traits you disapprove of, traits you'd rather not admit exist within yourself. The truth is that every intense emotional reaction you have toward another person is a window into your unconscious mind. Today, you're going to learn how to use that mirror instead of running from it. Because until you do, you'll continue looking for love, validation, and acceptance in the wrong places outside of yourself. The real question isn't, why is this person acting this way? The real question is, what is this person revealing about me? This idea that relationships are mirrors runs much deeper than it appears at first glance. When someone stirs powerful emotions within you, whether attraction or aversion, you're witnessing the projection of a part of yourself that you have not yet fully integrated. Start by examining the patterns. Do you find yourself consistently attracted to the same type of person? Or do you find yourself avoiding certain kinds of people at all costs? Both reactions are meaningful. Both attraction and repulsion reveal something crucial about your inner world. When you feel strongly drawn to someone, pause and ask, what qualities in this person am I admiring? Often, you'll find that you are magnetized by traits that you've suppressed or neglected within yourself. Maybe you're inspired by someone's freedom and spontaneity because you have lived under strict rules, boxed in by control and caution. Their openness reflects a part of you longing to be expressed. Conversely, when someone triggers irritation or even disgust, ask yourself, what exactly is bothering me about them? You may discover that the very qualities you criticize in others are ones you have disowned within yourself. Perhaps arrogance enrages you because you fear your own hidden pride. Or maybe someone's excessive ambition unsettles you because you've denied your own yearning for greatness. This level of self-inquiry requires brutal honesty. It demands that you look directly at the parts of yourself you have been most unwilling to acknowledge. But it is in this courageous confrontation that true healing begins. Your most challenging relationships, the ones that provoke the most frustration, pain, or confusion, often hold the richest lessons. That person who continually tests your patience may be presenting you with a chance to recognize and heal a part of yourself that you've long neglected. It's not a coincidence that certain personalities show up in your life over and over. They are not accident. They are messengers, carrying lessons your soul needs in order to evolve. And just as others mirror you, you mirror them. When someone reacts strongly to you with admiration, anger, or rejection, it often says more about their inner landscape than about anything you've done. Understanding this grants you both compassion and responsibility. Instead of reacting defensively, you can meet them with greater awareness and kindness. But this process isn't just about understanding, it's about transformation. Once you recognize what a difficult relationship is reflecting back to you, you gain the power to change it, not by forcing the other person to be different, but by integrating within yourself the parts you once rejected. As you bring awareness to these hidden parts and welcome them back into your consciousness, you'll notice something extraordinary happening. Your relationships begin to shift naturally, without force, without struggle. You'll stop being magnetized to dynamics that drain you. You'll stop feeling triggered by traits in others that once disturbed you. The connections you create will start to reflect your wholeness instead of your wounds. But it's important to be patient with this process. Integration doesn't happen overnight. You won't suddenly stop reacting or magically heal every old pattern. Healing is a slow unfolding, a daily practice of self-awareness. Approach yourself like a compassionate scientist observing an intricate experiment. Watch your emotional reactions, not with judgment, but with curiosity. When you feel that spike of anger, jealousy, fear, or longing, ask yourself, what part of me is speaking right now? What is it asking for? Over time, you'll notice a profound change. The people who once had the power to disturb your peace will lose their hold over your emotions. The relationships that once left you feeling exhausted will no longer fit your life. Instead, new kinds of connections will emerge. Relationships where you feel seen, supported, and celebrated. Not because someone else is completing you, but because they are meeting you as a whole being. Break time equals 3S, true love. The kind that nurtures and expands you is only possible after you embark on this journey of self-discovery and integration. When you love yourself from a place of wholeness rather than need, your relationships become a space of mutual growth instead of emotional dependence. You no longer seek someone to fill an internal void. You share the love you have already cultivated within yourself. Here's a truth most people miss. The very parts of yourself that you reject are the ones sabotaging your relationships. You cannot fully love another, nor allow yourself to be truly loved if you have not embraced all that you are, both your light and your shadow. Think for a moment about the traits you dislike most in yourself, the flaws you try to hide, the emotions you suppress, the parts you fear being seen. That is your shadow. And until you integrate it, you will unconsciously project your insecurities onto others. For example, if arrogance in others deeply disturbs you, it could be because a part of you fears being seen as arrogant or struggles with pride you haven't acknowledged. If you constantly feel small around others, it may stem from a hidden belief that you are not enough. This is why relationships, especially the difficult ones, are the greatest mirrors. They show you what still lies unhealed within. But here's the empowering part. This self-awareness isn't meant to shame you. It's an invitation to wholeness. It's an opportunity to stop dividing yourself into good and bad parts and instead embrace your full humanity. Your shadow is not only composed of your so-called flaws, it also holds your repressed talents, your unclaimed brilliance, the vibrant parts of you that never had permission to fully shine. When you reject any part of yourself, you fracture your being, creating an invisible barrier to deep connection. But when you embrace all of who you are, you stop seeking love as an external prize. You become love itself. This is the shift that changes everything. When you are no longer looking for someone else to validate your worth, you step into a new way of relating, one where connection is based on sharing, not on trying to complete each other. Every intense reaction you have toward another person is a clue. If you harshly judge someone's vulnerability, ask yourself, what part of my own softness have I rejected? If someone's ambition irritates you, could it be that you've silenced your own dreams for too long? Even romantic attraction often follows this pattern. We are magnetically drawn to those who express parts of ourselves we have buried. If you're irresistibly attracted to dominant personalities, perhaps it reflects a hidden desire to step into your own power. If you constantly find yourself drawn to wounded souls who need saving, it may mirror your own unhealed longing for care and attention. Shadow projections don't just affect how we connect, they can also sabotage relationships from within. Maybe you fear being abandoned, so you push people away before they have the chance to hurt you. Maybe you fear losing your freedom, so you resist closeness even when your heart longs for it. These defense mechanisms operate silently beneath awareness until you bring them into the light. Integration begins with courage, the courage to face yourself honestly, without judgment. The next time someone triggers you deeply, pause before reacting. Ask yourself, what is this person showing me about myself? Not to assign blame, but to invite greater self-knowledge. Integration also requires action. It's not enough to recognize your shadow. You must give those hidden parts room to exist. If you have repressed your creativity, start creating again, even if it feels clumsy at first. If you have denied your need for connection, practice vulnerability with trusted people. Slowly, the fragmented pieces of yourself will come back together, transforming from sources of sabotage into sources of power. A powerful exercise is to write a letter to your shadow. Acknowledge its existence. Thank it for trying to protect you, and express your intention to embrace it with compassion. You'll be amazed at how this internal reconciliation can soften your heart and transform your external world. The paradox is beautiful. The more you embrace your darkness, the more radiant your light becomes. Authenticity emerges not from perfection, but from the acceptance of your whole self. The deepest, most fulfilling relationships happen not when two perfect people meet, but when two whole people choose to walk together. In such a connection, there is no need to fill voids. There is simply a mutual celebration of each other's wholeness. Relationships then are no longer about avoiding loneliness or seeking external validation. They become sacred grounds for mutual expansion, mutual healing, and mutual evolution. Every disappointment, every conflict, every heartbreak is an opportunity for growth. Instead of asking, "Why did they do this to me?" a more powerful question is, "What part of me is being revealed through this experience?" Perhaps your jealousy points to a hidden insecurity. Perhaps your fear of commitment hides an unacknowledged vulnerability. Attractions to become maps. If you're fascinated by someone's courage, their creativity, their spontaneity, maybe it's because your own soul is longing to bring those qualities to life. Even heartbreak, as devastating as it can feel, offers a sacred invitation to deepen your relationship with yourself. After a relationship ends, you always face a choice: blame the other and stay trapped in old cycles, or turn inward and mine the experience for wisdom. The difference between bitterness and wisdom lies in this choice. Mature love is not about finding someone flawless. It's about choosing someone again and again with awareness. It's about seeing conflict not as a failure, but as an opportunity for greater understanding. It's about growing, not just individually, but together. Paradoxically, when you approach love as a path for inner growth, happiness and fulfillment become natural byproducts. They are no longer fragile states dependent on your partner's behavior. They arise from the steady foundation of knowing yourself and choosing consciously. The true transformation begins when you shift from saying, "I always end up with the wrong people," to asking, what inner pattern keeps attracting these experiences. That simple change in perspective hands you back your power. You are no longer a passive victim of fate. You become the conscious creator of your relationships. Break. Time equals 3 South. Understanding that love is a mirror for your own evolution is not always easy. It demands courage. Courage to confront painful truths. Courage to question long-standing beliefs. Courage to release old versions of yourself that no longer serve who you are becoming. But the reward for that courage is immense. Deeper self-awareness, more authentic relationships, and the ability to love, truly love, without clinging, without fear, without losing yourself. You may wonder, why do I keep ending up in the same kinds of relationships? The answer is not random. It's not bad luck. It's not that all good people are taken. The answer lies within the subconscious patterns you carry, often formed in childhood, patterns that quietly shape your choices without you even realizing it. If you grew up in an environment where love was conditional, where affection had to be earned through performance or compliance, it's likely that today, part of you still seeks validation through pleasing others. If you experienced criticism, inconsistency, or emotional absence from those you depended on, you might now feel strangely drawn to relationships that replicate those very wounds. Why? Because the psyche is drawn to what is familiar. Even if it is painful, it's not logical, but it's deeply human. Until you heal these original wounds, you will unconsciously gravitate toward situations and people who mirror them, hoping, perhaps, for a different outcome, hoping to finally receive the love you once lacked. But unless the wound itself is addressed, the pattern will continue. The faces might change. The emotional experience remains the same. This is why Carl Jung emphasized, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Recognizing your patterns is the first and most powerful step toward change. Instead of feeling cursed, you begin to see clearly. This is a pattern. This is a mirror. This is my opportunity to heal. Look closely at your relationship history. Observe it like a movie, without judgment. Do you often feel abandoned? Are you consistently drawn to emotionally unavailable people? Do you tend to lose your sense of self within relationships? These repetitions are not accidents. They are road signs pointing to parts of you that still long for healing. Behind every toxic pattern lies a hidden belief about yourself, usually one that you absorbed long before you had the consciousness to question it. Maybe you internalized the idea that you are not worthy of loyalty, or that love is always painful, or that your needs will never be met unless you sacrifice yourself for others. These beliefs act like magnets, pulling you into familiar experiences that confirm what you secretly fear to be true. Breaking these patterns isn't just about thinking differently. It's about rewiring your emotional body and your nervous system. Because these reactions are not just psychological, they are deeply embodied. Neural pathways have been forged through years of repetition. That's why simply knowing better is often not enough. You have to practice new ways of relating, not just to others, but to yourself. Begin by noticing your emotional triggers. Pay attention to situations where your reactions seem disproportionate to the event. Does a delayed text send you into a spiral of abandonment, fear? Does a minor criticism trigger intense feelings of worthlessness? These reactions are clues. They point directly to the wounds that are still asking to be seen, heard, and healed. Healing starts when you stop blaming others for your emotions and start taking responsibility for your patterns. Responsibility is not the same as blame. It is about reclaiming your power to respond differently until you take ownership of your inner world. You remain trapped in old cycles, powerless, resentful, and convinced that love is something elusive or cruel. But the moment you say, "This is mine, I choose to heal it," everything changes. To truly transform, you must also reconnect with your body. Relational patterns are not only mental, they are physical. Your body stores the memory of every wound, every abandonment, every betrayal. It recognizes familiar sensations, even toxic ones, as safe simply because they are known. Learn to listen to your body's wisdom. Notice how it feels when you are drawn to certain people. Often, attraction to unhealthy dynamics feels intoxicating at first, a rush of adrenaline, a false sense of destiny. Recognize this for what it is, a nervous system seeking the familiar, not necessarily what is good for you. Choosing new patterns will feel uncomfortable at first. A calm, stable relationship may seem boring compared to the emotional highs and lows you're used to. But boredom is not the enemy. It is often the unfamiliar feeling of peace. Every time you choose differently, every time you resist the pull of the familiar wound, you are laying down new neural pathways. You are teaching your body, your mind, and your heart a new story. And yes, it's a process. Some days you'll fall back into old habits. That's normal. Healing is not linear. The goal is not perfection. The goal is awareness. The goal is the freedom to choose. Boundaries are essential in this journey. Setting boundaries both with others and with yourself interrupts the automatic replay of old patterns. if you know you tend to merge and lose yourself in relationships. Set rituals that keep you connected to your own identity. N, if you tend to attract people who exploit your kindness. Define clear limits for what you will and will not tolerate. Boundaries are acts of self-love, not selfishness. They protect the space where new, healthier patterns can take root. Each time you honor your needs, each time you choose peace over chaos, you reinforce your new path. Your brain is capable of changing. Your heart is capable of healing. Your life is capable of transformation. The ultimate goal isn't to find the perfect partner. It is to become the version of yourself who can love and be loved with authenticity, without fear, without masks, without repeating old pain. When you do that, the love you create will no longer be something you chase. It will be something you naturally attract, because it will reflect the wholeness you have cultivated within yourself. Break time equals 3 south per L is not something you find outside yourself. It is something you build within. We are raised to believe that love is an external prize, something granted to us by others if we are attractive enough, successful enough, good enough. This belief keeps us chasing endlessly, waiting for someone else to make us feel whole. But the deepest truth is this: love is not given to you by another. Love is something you are. When you depend on external sources for love, you set yourself up for a cycle of lack, like a vessel full of holes. No matter how much affection you receive, it never feels enough, because the emptiness you are trying to fill can only be healed from within. The real shift, the one that changes everything, happens when you realize that you are the source of your own love experience. You do not need to earn it. You do not need to be perfect. You do not need anyone's permission. Self-love is not a reward for achievement. It is your birthright. It means speaking to yourself with the same kindness you would offer a dear friend. It means honoring your worth even on the days you feel broken or afraid. It means recognizing that your value is intrinsic, not based on what you do, how you look, or who approves of you. When you cultivate this unshakable love within, your external relationships transform naturally. You no longer approach others with neediness or desperation. You no longer cling to those who cannot truly see you. You no longer betray yourself just to be accepted. Instead, you move from a place of abundance. You are able to give love freely without losing yourself. You are able to receive love graciously without questioning your worth. Ironically, it's when you stop needing love from others that you become most capable of experiencing it deeply. Your relationships become spaces of mutual expansion rather than mutual dependency. You stop seeking someone to complete you, and instead, you share the fullness you already embody. When you operate from wholeness, your very presence changes. You naturally attract those who are also aligned with self-respect, authenticity, and inner peace. You no longer magnetize those who mirror your wounds. You attract those who mirror your healing. This is not arrogance or selfishness. True self-love is the opposite of narcissism. Narcissism arises from a deep inner void, a desperate hunger for external validation. Authentic self-love arises from wholeness, a place of knowing and honoring your complete humanity, flaws and all. A beautiful practice for strengthening this inner love is conscious self-compassion. When painful emotions arise, sadness, fear, anger, shame, instead of suppressing or judging them, welcome them as parts of your experience. Embrace them with tenderness. Recognize that being human means being imperfect. This radical acceptance of your internal world softens your external world too. You stop projecting unhealed pain onto others. You stop expecting relationships to save you. You allow others to be imperfect too, and love them from a place of freedom, not need. Remember, love is not a destination you reach one day when you've earned it. It is a practice you choose every moment, especially on the days it feels hardest. There will be days when old wounds resurface. There will be days when self-doubt creeps back in. That's okay. Every moment of awareness is an opportunity to choose love again. And every time you return to yourself, every time you extend compassion rather than criticism, you strengthen the foundation of true love within. The greatest paradox is this: when you stop searching for love as something missing, you realize it was always there. Like a fish searching for the ocean, you have been immersed in love all along. You just needed to recognize it. Your task is not to find love. It is to remove the barriers within yourself that prevent you from feeling it, to allow it, to express it. When you embody this truth, every relationship becomes a reflection of that love. Every encounter becomes an opportunity to give and receive authentically, without fear, without need, without masks. Carl Jung and countless sages throughout time have echoed this wisdom. Love is not something you do, it is something you are. And when you live from that place, everything changes. You no longer chase love, you live as love. You create relationships that are not cages, but wings. You experience intimacy not as a battle for validation, but as a celebration of two complete beings choosing each other freely. So, if this message resonates with you, let it sink deep into your bones. You are already worthy. You are already enough. The love you seek is not out there. It has been within you all along. Choose to cultivate it. Choose to return to it every day and watch how your world transforms. If these words have spoken to your journey, share them with someone who needs this reminder. And if you want to continue exploring how to create a life rooted in authenticity, healing, and conscious love, stay connected here. Thank you for being part of this path. A path where love is not something to be earned, but something to be remembered. A path where the greatest relationship you will ever cultivate is the one you build with yourself. Until next time, take care of your heart, nurture your light, and remember, you are love.